Yo, welcome guys at the start. Before anything begins, I just want to say if you're here watching right now, you're already a real one. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment because it helps so much more than you think. And today, we're diving into something really fun, something really powerful, something that honestly every roamer should understand. Because playing Baxia with this exact build is one of the cleanest, smoothest, and most effective ways to dominate the entire map in solo rank, especially when you're stuck alone trying to carry without relying on random teammates. Now let's get into it and really talk about why these items shape Baxia into an unstoppable tank that glides across the map, disrupts everything in sight, and turns every fight into a moment where enemies regret ever stepping out of the base. When you start off with tough boots, you're not just buying movement speed or magic defense, you're buying consistency and freedom. You're giving Baxia the ability to roll through lanes without worrying about getting locked down. And this is so important for him because his entire identity revolves around mobility. The passive Fortitude, reducing CC and slow duration by 25%, lets him ignore the kind of crowd control that normally ruins a rotation. Baxia is a hero that literally becomes a moving weapon, so the moment you limit the chances of getting stopped, you automatically increase your pressure. But what really makes Tough Boots even more crazy on him is the Encourage blessing, because as a roamer, that roaming passive gives you independent gold and XP without stealing from your allies. It's like you grow on your own while still enabling everyone else. And as you reveal enemies or rotate around the map, that extra income keeps coming in steadily, making sure you're not stuck as a poor tank. This build turns Baxia into a real-time income generator without taking resources from your carry. And in solo rank, that doesn't just help you, it helps the whole team scale smoothly without complaints like roamer stealing XP. So starting from minute 1, this item just makes the whole game feel lighter. Then, as you move into Dominance Ice, you're stepping into Baxia's disruptive nature. This item gives a flat boost in both physical and magic defense, increases your movement speed, but most importantly, it brings its unique passives that fit Baxia's identity perfectly. Fortress Shield, giving additional defense based on nearby enemies, becomes insane when you consider how Baxia plays. He always dives, he always rolls into crowds, he always stays near enemy heroes. That's literally how he applies pressure. So when they group up, instead of being scared, you actually become harder to kill. Life Bane is even better, because it reduces the enemy's shield and HP regen when they damage you, which counters fighters like Yuzong, Esmeralda, Terizla, or anyone who relies on sustain to win long trades. And since Baxia's passive already reduces enemy regen by 30%, stacking Life Bane creates a suffocating effect. They're trying to heal, but every second you're telling them, nope, not today. Controlling sustain in teamfights is one of the biggest strengths of this build, and Dominance Ice makes sure you shut down the heroes that normally out-heal or outlast tanks. Moving into Oracle, this is where the build starts to feel unfair in terms of HP regen and shield effectiveness. You get extra HP, extra defense, cooldown reduction, and then the passive Bless, which increases received shield and regen by 30%. Combined with Baxia's tanky nature and his shield gains from skills, you get a layered defense that keeps stacking in your favor. Every time you back off for a second, every time you roll away for a moment to reposition, your health just jumps back up faster than enemies expect. And in fights, Oracle enhances every tiny bit of shield you get, making you take hits that would normally feel heavy, but instead barely scratch you. This synergy shines especially when you're the first one diving in, because even if enemies focus you, your effective health becomes way higher than what the number says. Then you bring in Guardian Helmet, and this is where the build fully transforms Baxia into a monster with natural regeneration that doesn't even feel legal sometimes. The huge HP bonus alone makes you harder to burst, but what really turns this item into a nightmare for enemies is the recovery passive. You regenerate a percentage of your total HP every second after leaving combat, and because you already have Oracle increasing regen, Guardian Helmet hits even harder. You can literally take a full fight, drop to half HP, roll out for just a couple of seconds, and come back into the fight like nothing even happened. And the Defender passive gives even more sustain by healing you whenever you take burst damage. This makes assassins and mages feel powerless because every time they hit you hard, you heal even harder. When you're the roamer in solo rank, this means you don't rely on your healer, you don't rely on your teammates, you don't need to recall. You just rotate endlessly, applying pressure every minute. After that, Antique Cuirass comes in to weaken enemy physical burst. Whenever an enemy hits you with a skill, you reduce their physical damage output by 6%, stacking up to 3 times. That's 18% total reduction. And on top of that, they're hitting a Baxia with more HP and regen than most tanks can maintain. This item is extremely important against heroes like Ling, Lancelot, Roger, Aldous, or any marksman or fighter who relies on skill-based burst. Every time they try to combo you, you're lowering their damage while your team collapses on them. This makes Baxia one of the best natural counters to physical burst threats because they can't get rid of him quickly enough. And then finally, Athena's shield wraps the whole build into one clean answer to magic damage. The shield passive reduces magic damage taken after getting hit, meaning mages can't burst you instantly. This matters because Baxia dives into the heart of the enemy formation, which usually includes mages like Valentina, Novaria, Yves, or Xavier, waiting to punish the first diver. But when you have Athena, their initial burst becomes weak and their follow-up damage becomes weaker, especially when your regen is boosted by Oracle and Guardian Helmet. This makes magic-heavy compositions feel almost useless because they just can't finish you off. You stay alive long enough for your team to follow up, and that's all a roamer needs. Now, when you put all these items together, the build creates a version of Baxia that is fully optimized for what he does best. He becomes permanently mobile, permanently tanky, permanently regenerating, permanently frustrating for the enemy. Every rotation feels smooth, every engage feels safe, every disengage feels simple, and every re-engage feels like a reset. Your durability spikes early with Dominance, continues growing through Oracle and Guardian Helmet, and reaches its final form with Cuirass and Athena. It's not just about surviving, it's about existing on the map in a way that constantly pressures lanes, steals space, shuts down regen, and absorbs so much damage that the enemy team burns everything on you and still fails to kill you. And the real beauty of this build is how effective it is specifically for Baxia's kit. Because of his passive reducing enemy regen, because of his rolling mobility, because of his teamfight disruption, because of his natural tankiness, you're not just building random tank items, you're building pieces that multiply with his identity. The movement speed helps him chase. The regen helps him re-engage endlessly. The anti-regen helps him shut down fighters. The anti-burst stops assassins. The shield reduction stops mages. Everything fits together perfectly, and the enemy team eventually realizes they can't kill you fast enough, they can't heal through you, and they can't escape you.
It's not your fault.
And throughout the whole game, you remain the one who decides when the fight starts and when the fight ends. That's what makes this build so fun and so powerful, especially in solo rank where coordination is low and chaos is high. You become the stability your team needs. You become the shield, the wall, the front line, the initiator, the disruptor, the one who rolls in confidently because you know exactly what your build lets you do. And honestly, that's what makes Baxia one of the most enjoyable roamers to play with the right build. When you bring this build into solo rank, something special happens with Baxia, because he becomes the type of roamer that doesn't just support the team, he literally controls the rhythm of the match by himself. In solo queue, you can't depend on anyone. You can't expect clean rotations or perfect follow-ups. So having a hero that can absorb damage, rotate faster than everyone, and survive in situations where other tanks would die becomes the key to carrying. With this build, Baxia becomes exactly that. He doesn't need babysitting, he doesn't need protection, he doesn't need healing. Instead, he becomes the one creating opportunities constantly, even when your team hesitates or mispositions.
Just feel my heart-stopping power.
What makes this build so effective for carrying random teammates is the independence it gives you. The roaming blessing lets you gain gold at a steady rate without waiting for the team to group up or letting them steal your resources. It means your tempo doesn't rely on whether your jungler is farming efficiently or whether your mid laner is clearing waves on time. Even if they're slow, you're still growing. This matters because in solo rank, the biggest problem is that some players fall behind too early. But you, with this setup, always stay in the game, always remain tanky enough to engage, and never fall to the point where you become useless. You stabilize the team just by existing. Another reason this build helps you carry random teammates is that Baxia becomes extremely good at punishing mistakes. In solo rank, players overextend constantly. They chase kills they shouldn't, they walk alone into risky areas, they forget to watch the map. With your movement speed, you can instantly collapse on these mistakes and turn them into kills. Random teammates might not have great macro, but they're always happy to follow up on a free opportunity. And if you're still here listening to all of this, you're a real supporter. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what hero you want me to play next. Let me know if you want more Baxia content, and let me know how this build worked for you in your own solo rank games. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate every single one of you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.